Alright, welcome into the Shoujoverse. I am your host today, Sho-chan, and with me I have Bees, and we're going to be talking about Fruits Basket. We're so excited to talk about the new season together, so let's jump right into it. We're going to start with episode 1, which was titled I'll Hold Another Banquet, and let's give our thoughts about the opening so far first. What were your thoughts?
Um, Visuals, I really loved how it was a nice blend of 2D and 3D. I think even some of them might have been like pictures. If not pictures, they were like really well rendered 3D with the
Mm-hmm.
2D people
Yeah.
on top. And I really liked it how it rotated it, and I like the symmetry between how it was one person and the other, and they would move at the same time. I really like the symmetry.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And like the pairings and the tension. Oh my gosh. I saw I love how in the first I think it's like Kyo you see first and then Toru and it's like in a three sort of panel sequence, whatever. I
Oh
just
yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, and then Yuki and Machi too, and I'm just like Toru and Machi represent for the non-zodiacs here. They're the only non-zodiac members in the opening, I think. So
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Also, with the visuals, I noticed in the first two OPs, it was like very bright, sunny days. This one, it's raining, which also
mm-hmm.
helps to set the tone for the whole season. Um,
Yeah.
but the
Dude, I'm so
music.
excited. Yeah, but the music, I guess the music, I'm not a fan of it as I was with the other seasons OPs, but at the same time, it's slow, it's kind of chill. Well, it's not really chill, it's kind of tense, it feels, at least to me. So I guess it matches the mood for this current season. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it matches the mood. I'm just not as much of a fan of it as last season.
Same.
I love last season's.
Last seasons, I think that was like the best. Was it Home Sweet Home, right?
I think it's just home.
Or that's like the, yeah, thank you.
Oh,
That's it.
my least favorite part is definitely the ending of the OP because it just fades out.
Yeah,
It feels so abrupt. I don't know.
I
It feels like it could have been
agree.
done better.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I also feel like in this opening, you see everybody's like, I'm like, I already know this is gonna be such an emotionally heavy season. Like, I'm already prepared for it. But seeing everybody's sad faces in the OP, I'm like, that's drawn so well. And oh my gosh, like, I'm already sad just like watching the OP to see what's gonna unfold.
The other shocker in the OP, grown up Momiji.
Oh my god, dude, he looks so good. It's like, I feel like it reminds me of Tamaki from Oran High School Host Club, actually.
It's he's so different. Like the first time I watched, I was like, "Who is that?" And then I reversed and I looked again, and I was like, "Is that what happened to you, Momiji?"
It looks so good, dude. I'm just like amazed that he went from so cutesy to that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Prince. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm all about that glow up for him.
yeah, it's a shock, and then you see him in the like at least the first two episodes, he looks like normal, and I'm like, how does that change over? When does
Yeah,
this change?
yeah. Both of us haven't read the manga, so we're coming in with literally nothing here. Yeah, I don't know. I know there is gonna be a time skip. At least I've heard, but I have no idea when that's gonna be. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
cutesy
and how much
Momiji.
of a
I'm
time
enjoying it.
skip?
Yeah, I mean, clearly enough to make Momiji look like that. I'm guessing he goes to high school, and that must mean
He's already
like,
in high school.
oh wait, crap, never mind, he is.
He's only
Holy crap.
like a year younger than them.
Oh my gosh. Wait a second. Wait a second. This doesn't add up on the
Yeah, it
time
doesn't
skip.
really add up. That's
Oh
what I'm
my
saying.
gosh.
What did you do, man?
Momiji got serious like that.
Speaking of setting the tone for the rest of the season, I'm pretty sure all of episode one did that. Like it was so heavy.
I know, especially because like we're continuing right after season 2. We're just continuing right off from there. Where it's like
Like same
um
conversation.
same conversation exactly, and it's just like super emotional, like between Toru and like Kureno, like oh my gosh, like Kureno revealing the truth and Akito revealed to be a girl, and then like you start to see something larger than just Akito as a force for all of her troubles, which is like Ren.
Yeah, Ren is her mom.
Yeah, And like Ren had a, and you know, like Akito, she had a dad. I'm guessing he's dead.
I guess.
You
Yes.
know,
That yes,
I
that
think because
yes.
they flash back to it, yeah, and he said something to her. I forgot what he said, but it was important. It's so bad to
I'm
say,
pretty sure
but
I'm pretty sure Ren said something like
you'll meet your
going
dad.
yeah, going to meet your dad. She was like
Yeah.
ready to or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, that she wants to meet her dad in, I guess, heaven or wherever.
The whole scene, it was, I'm not sure if it was a flashback or it was like in parallel.
Mm.
But when Akito and Ren were having a confrontation, Akito like tackled Ren,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just, something about the animation in that looked kind of goofy to me, and it kind of brought me out of it. I literally went back and I was like, I looked at it, I was like, this something about this isn't right. It was really hard to put my finger on what was wrong, but it looked goofy.
Oh my gosh, I love how like like you're so observational for that. I was just like, I actually, okay. Here's the thing: for episode one, I watched both the dub and the sub. So the dub came out a few weeks ago, and I watched that first, and I could like the thing I was focusing on were the dub voices, so I had no idea. Like I couldn't just get that out of my head, just like the difference. Like oh my gosh, it was just they're not. It's the dub's not bad. It's actually not that bad. It's just different. So um,
Yeah.
so I was focusing on
I
that during
can't
the scene.
I can't watch dub. I know I've tried. It just takes me out of it. I don't know.
I get that too. I have mixed feelings about dub, but we can go back to the animation. That was what I was focusing on during the tackling scene, just the dub, like Akito arguing with Ren.
Yeah. I thought oh, I thought Ren's voice actress, at least in Japanese, was really good. She sounded so familiar, but I guess she just sounds like a stereotypical older evil Japanese woman
Yeah,
that you often hear.
in any anime, this the stereotype there.
I looked up the voice actress and I didn't recognize anything she had worked on, so
Oh, dang, interesting.
so after the whole info dump, I didn't look to see how long the info dump was, but like that's basically what it was between Kureno and Toru.
Yeah, I like how
Was
you describe it as an info dump. While I'm like, it's an emotional conversation.
that's basically what it is.
I
Both
mean,
of
yeah.
us, like both us as the viewer and Toru, are just getting a bunch of information dumped on us and have struggling to comprehend it. At least Toru is, and then here comes Hanajima
Yeah,
to
oh
save
my
the day.
gosh.
I love her.
Hanajima, dude, I love her too. I feel like, she's a bit different than Uotani and Toru in that she's kind of like, she has her own sort of, I love how, okay, honestly, I just love the author, how she developed every one of the characters. Even like, you can easily write off Hanajima like as the weird occult character, but she didn't do that. And she like purposely like developed her in season two as like this character who suffered some from loneliness in some way, and then met Toru and like Uotani, and I was just like, and you get to see how much Hanajima like values her friends in this, and I just love that.
Yeah, I really love. You're right. The mangaka does so much to develop all of the different characters. They all do have some sort of, if not trauma, some sort of thing weighing down on them that they are.
Ashigure, he's not even, he doesn't
Yeah.
have any trauma. He's just manipulative and just crappy as an entire person.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that though. Yeah, sorry, I just thought that was funny.
But even if they don't have some sort of trauma, they have something they are actively working towards, and
Yeah.
that's one of the key parts I feel for to have a good character and to have a dynamic character. They're all dynamic.
Yeah. Seriously, props to the mangaka on that one. Such well written characters. But what else was like? I love when Uotani also came in and was just like, I guess I just love dummies, and I was like, crying for her and Kurono and Toru all at once. See, like, oh, I love you guys. I want you guys to be happy.
Yeah. I think one of the things I took out most of the conversation between Kureno and Toru is just how bad I feel for Kureno.
Yeah, dude.
Like, this poor dude.
Yeah, he's like, he reminds me of like a sadder version of Toru. Like, very overly generous to the point where he doesn't have a sense of himself, really.
Yeah. And it's the I think it's the bond, the zodiac bond itself that's to blame for that.
Yeah.
Because they touched on how strong that pull was to God, or Akito, who is the god of the zodiacs.
Yeah.
So.
But then, like, Ren says that's not, like, that the zodiac bond is just not true. Like, that's not a thing whatsoever. So it's like, I wonder how much of it is, like, Akito being a lonely girl, actually, that is making the situation, and it's freaking Ren's fault for part of that. It's like,
it really is
generational trauma. What?
I think it was a pretty big point. I think it's both a thing from clearly the zodiac isn't a normal bond, but it is a bond. You can't just say it doesn't exist.
For sure.
They all clearly feel it.
Yeah. And I mean, they were crying when, like, Ren was pregnant with Akito, right? So
yeah,
that was definitely an example of that. But yeah, anything else you want to touch upon Hanajima or like Kureno or Toru?
The very end of the episode, the scene between Kyo and Toru where Kyo gave her back her scarf. Oh my god, it was so cute. It was really that little bit of light we needed at the end of a really heavy episode.
So true. Oh my gosh.
I love them so much.
I know. Kyo and Toru, I'm all about seeing the ship develop even more. I'm just like, yes. Kyo, and I love seeing Kyo like go out of his way for Toru. Like, he was already doing that towards the end of season 2, but even more now. It's just gonna keep getting better here.
Yeah, and then it's gonna keep hurting.
Yep.
We're on the pain train.
We are on the pain train for sure. Oh my gosh, that's such a good way to put it.
Let's talk a little bit about the ED.
Yeah, of course. I love the art. The original manga art was used, and it's just like the song is just super sweet. It feels like, you know, the ending song literally feels like I'm watching the ending of the show as well.
Yeah. It does. The ending art does kind of spoil the main couples, but I mean, at this point, it's kind of clear what those main couples are.
Yeah.
But it's so cute. I mean, you just need something lighthearted at the end.
Yeah, it's like the producers or directors were like, we know this is gonna be a heavy emotional train, but we'll end it off lightly with this nice ending.
It reminds me of last season's ending.
Yeah, last season's ending. I love that ending song so much. Aiden by Monkey Magic, right? Or whatever is that group?
Yeah. The
oh my gosh.
How it's just static images with the song, which is fine. It doesn't have to be a super flashy. I think I like I guess they're just I like this season's ending more. I like the visuals because it's the original art and it's just so wholesome and warm. It looks warm.
Yeah,
makes me
that's
feel
so true.
warm.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I personally like the previous season's ending. Like, the song, I love the song, first of all, for the previous one, but then also, like, I love the original manga art, too, don't get me wrong on that, but, like, the previous ending songs, they had these flowers that had to do with the symbolism of the characters, I think, and it was just, like, really detailed static pictures, and I'm just, like, my eyes are like, whoa, this is beautiful.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like the symbolism with all the flowers and plants.
Yeah. But this is such a great ending song. What a treat for this season, honestly, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel good to move on to the next episode, or?
Yeah.
Awesome. And this episode is titled That's an Unwavering Truth, and we get a bit of Shigure and Akito here, so let's just get started. Their childhood, oh my god. That
Uh-huh.
I love the childhood flashbacks, but then we were talking earlier, and I was like, wait a second, there's a like you brought it up, Bees. You're like, there's an age gap. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, and it's a little bit uncomfortable because
Yeah.
at that there's about a 6 year difference in age, and at the Akito in that scene couldn't have been, I don't know, but somewhere between 6 and 10 probably. It's not exactly clear, but I don't think
Some
she was older than 10.
Yeah, some people say it's probably like I'm looking up again, like it seems that people say that it's most likely only 4 years at most if we assume Kurino was 3 years and Ritsu was 1 to 2 at the time of her conception, which would line up. So I guess that yeah, I guess it most likely is not, hopefully not 6 years because that puts
Hopefully
the
not.
yeah, like that puts like I was watching that first scene. I was like, "Oh, this is so cute." And Shigure giving the flower, and you're just like, "Shigure used to be so pure." And then rethinking about that now, you're like, "Wait a second, with the age gap." Hopefully, it's only 4 years.
Either way, it's a little bit
It's still
uncomfortable.
it's still uncomfortable for sure. Oh my gosh, but I
But
love
I
the
also know,
flower. No, go ahead.
yeah. I noticed it was like one of the first few lines of the episode. It was a name drop of the episode title. I was like, wow.
Yeah, oh my gosh. For sure. And I like that flower, they actually had that scene, like a similar sort of scene. You see it repeated so many times. So like you see it not into this episode though. You saw it actually in season 2, I believe, where like Shigure and Akito were talking and then Shigure's like, "How about for old times sake?" He said something like that and like brought the red flower to her. And it was like
Oh,
in the like
I
I
don't remember
remember
that.
that. Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, ooh. And then it's like the red flower in the ending song of the last season as well. And we see it happen all over again in this episode.
And you can see the root of it.
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't catch that. Good catch.
Thanks. I just am a huge fan of picking this whole series apart because it's so well written.
Let's see. Oh, and then next, it was after that flashback. You see Toru struggling to deal with the info dump.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So much on her.
Yeah, and she feels like she wants to talk to someone about it, but she doesn't know who and she doesn't know how. And you
Yeah.
can tell it weighs on her.
Mm-hmm. Toru is just such a selfless character, and she puts so much on herself too. And I'm just like, oh crap! Like you can't talk to any of your friends about this because they don't know that's not my family curse or anything like that. And then it's like the people who are Zodiac members, they've already come to think that it's not likely that the curse can be broken because they don't know Kurono, and they're not supposed to know about that.
Yeah, and she tried to bring it up to Kyo as a hypothetical, and he immediately shut it down, and you can tell that really hurt her.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, Toru, don't cry. Oh.
I just don't want to see Toru hurt. I love her. You deserve happiness, queen.
Yeah, oh my god. She's literally bringing everybody else happiness. And I'm just like, girl, you deserve so much more. And then, like, Kyo was apologizing. And then, like, she was, like, thinking to herself at the same time. You could see, like, Kyo kind of, like, being so flustered and trying to, like, figure out how to help. And it was just like, oh my god. Seeing Kyo get so flustered over her, I was just like, aw.
What a good man.
Yeah.
Next, what happened? Oh, Machi chasing after
Oh my
Yuki.
gosh. Machi pulling through like that. Oh my gosh. I'm excited for that ship to take off really because it's like it was like just hinted at in the second season and I just love how she just kind of like took that initiative to go to Yuki. I'm like, oh my god. I can't wait to see how how this develops.
Yeah, and Yuki thought to himself, something out of all people, she came looking for me. It was something along those lines, and that really hit. You could read it in two different ways, like out of all people, she came looking for me, or she came looking for me.
Mhm.
I am not sure if one or the other was emphasized in Japanese, but I decided to read it as the second one.
I know,
He
same.
was like, oh, she's looking for me.
Yeah.
And then you could see him blush, and I was like, oh my god.
I was like, Yuki, yes. I'm really glad that the author decided to, like, Yuki, actually, season 2 was a huge focus on him, but, like, now I'm, like, getting to see him be happy, and I'm just, like, all about it.
Yeah, last season was him coming to terms with what he feels towards Toru is not, like, romantic. It is him putting her in, like, a motherly role, which was previously empty in his life.
Yeah.
And now he's finding someone else.
Also, all the flower scenes, like Machi giving her crumpled up flower to Yuki, and then Kyo giving a flower to Toru, and then Shigure giving a flower to Akito.
Perfect transition to that conversation between Shigure and Akito.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. I mean, there's also Kureno and Shigure, right?
Yeah. Wow. Shigure went straight for the throat.
He was like, he woke up that day and chose violence. He did not.
He really did. I think he chooses violence every day, honestly.
Yeah, he's so manipulative. Oh my god. He doesn't. Like, oh my gosh, it's so funny because Shigure, everybody's like going over the season. It's just like, everybody's like, I'm like with the fandom on this, and I just love seeing people being like, where's my moral compass anymore? Shigure, literally. He's like, he's so manipulative, yet he does it so well. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, in the previous seasons, I don't remember. I mean, it was probably both 1 and 2. Toru was warned by characters saying, don't trust him. He seems like a nice, happy, pervy guy, but don't trust him. And this is, you can see now why not to. Because he has a bunch of cards up his sleeves.
Yep. And he also just, like, I remember in the last season, season 2, I did not like him with, like, Mayuko, I think that's her name. Like, Hatori and the other girl, not Kana, but, like, the sensei at their school.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I did not like what he did to, like, he kind of was just decided to get in that relationship. Like, and I know he was kind of like, oh, it has no gain for me, I'm just doing this. But he kind of just, like, fly about all that too, and I was just like, I don't like you.
Yeah, I definitely, in the first season, I was definitely like, oh, he's so fun.
Yeah, right.
The second season, I'm like,
questionable.
And now I'm like, wow, really, to get back at Akito for sleeping with Kurano. He slept with her mom?
Dude, that was actually messed up. I was just like, oh my god, Shigure, no. And then he's like, it's because you're with Kurano. And I'm like, oh my god, the jealousy here. Oh my god.
I just, wow, is all I can say. Yeah, he, there could have been many ways he could have, tried to win her over, tried to, be a decent man. Nope, sleeping with her mom.
Yeah, and
that'll surely show her.
And I'm just like, it's such a toxic relationship. Just like, I don't get, I'm still kind of confused. Like, I want to know more about why Akito made the choice she did to, like, go to Kurano over Shigure, or if it was like, what did Shigure...
It's because...
No, go ahead.
It's because Kurano's curse was broken, and she felt that she was going to lose him.
Shoot, you're right. Wait a second.
So she was like, I'm gonna wrangle you into a physical, intimate relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can't leave me. And he said, yeah, I'll do it for you.
Oh my god. Thank you for explaining that. Yikes.
Yeah, we have toxic plus toxic equals toxic relationship.
Whoops, we love that for us. No, oh my god, like, both of them.
And then after that whole, confronting each other about, you slept with my mom, but you slept with Kurano, and he went to walk away, and she's like, no, and then they slept together.
Dude, I'm just like, yeah, I skipped over this whole scene because I was watching with my family, and I was just like, God no, because I saw everything on my Twitter already. And I was like, oh my god, Akito and Shigure, dude, that's like, but it's such a funny, it's such an interesting dynamic given like the whole like everything else is so wholesome in the show, and then there's that, so it's just like
I
a
think
funny dynamic.
I think the show started out really wholesome, but like it definitely like as it's gone on, it's definitely increased the stakes and gotten way more dramatic. Um Now it's mostly drama with a little bit of wholesome sprinkled in.
But I think that the thing is, I would say that even though there it has gotten really dramatic, like I feel like with their end goals for all these characters are towards like wholesomeness. Like for example, with Yuki
Yeah.
confronting his trauma, he wanted to, and confronting how he felt about Toru as well. He was like able to become like this. He was able to move on from that experience and move on like in peace and make peace with that. And like all these other characters are similar like Toru, she's crying a lot, but because she's so worried about everybody around her. And she's just like trying to break the curse. But then Akita and Shigure, I'm just like, you guys want to end up together, but I don't know if that's like, I don't know how healthy this is, but okay.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see since we haven't read the manga, we don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see like how their relationship gets better. Will it get better? I mean, based on the ending art,
It does get better
it
somehow.
seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we get there though?
Yeah. And they look so sweet in the ending art. I just hope we get to see how that happens.
I did write in my notes that I enjoyed the music. Like
Oh my god.
the music has been really good.
Yes.
Especially the scene between Akito and Shigure.
Mhm.
It was music really befitting of the scene.
Oh my god.
But the music in general has been really good.
Yeah, the music for the show is amazing. It's written by the same person who wrote Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso's soundtrack, so I'm not surprised. Because it's like, I hear it and I'm like, oh, this reminds me of that. And I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's
Nice.
it's beautiful. It's just, I like listening to it, and you can hear sort of like I don't know. I'm such a music person, so I'm not gonna go off on this too much. But I still feel like there's some light and luminescence you hear in like what he produces for the shows that he does, and it just like is so perfect for a Fruits Basket. Yeah.
And in terms of animation, I mean it's the same standards as the first two
Yeah.
seasons. It's good.
Yeah.
It's not like, Sakuga amazingness, but it is very pleasing to the eyes. I would say, I feel like Toru is sometimes a bit of a shapeshifter when she has her hair up in pigtails versus when it's down.
I can't
She
tell.
looks really different.
Does she really?
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like when she has her hair up in pigtails, she looks. Maybe it's because the bangs are more obvious.
Uh-huh.
It feels like her bangs get shorter every time she puts her hair up in a pigtail. I don't know.
I can't even tell that. I love that you pick up those slight details. I did not notice that. Yeah, I also think,
Maybe it's just me.
but it's still beautiful art. I love the colors here. I think like what was interesting though, I remember in the last scene we saw, because it ended off on such a mysterious note too, where like it seemed like things were resolving, but at the same time they weren't. And you see like the scene of the abandoned house, and you see like a slight figure of someone inside of it. But I'm not sure if that was just me reading too much into it. But I think that was the abandoned house.
Oh,
And I like that like
yeah.
the previous cat for the Zodiac was put in, and I think Rin was in there.
I think so, because at the end of episode 1, we didn't talk about this, but at the end of episode 1,
Yeah.
Ren caught Akito's mom, Ren, caught Rin,
Yep.
the horse zodiac,
Yep.
just so we get those clear, and was saying something like, "You're looking for something and I can help you?"
Yeah, and she's like, "Why are you
Something
sneaking
along those lines.
around?" And it was just like, "Ooh, don't know what's going on."
Smells like trouble.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I hope Rin is okay. And I do know like this season I saw like from the trailer, it's like Rin is gonna suffer, dude.
She's already suffered so much.
I know. Yeah. So, I wonder what's gonna happen in the next episode, and we'll see. But what a start! What a powerful start to this season.
Yeah, it was. If the rest of the season is like this, I think it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I've like, I haven't read the manga, but I've heard so many great stuff about it, and I'm like, and from seeing season 1 and 2, I have no doubt that this will just take off even better.
Yeah, I did see some people wondering how long it's gonna be. I assume it's gonna be 23 to 25 episodes.
I'm gonna assume
maybe
that
24.
too. Yeah.
But some people were saying, how are they gonna keep it past 12? So are we that close to the end? I don't think so.
Oh.
Doesn't feel like we're that close.
I did not hear about that rumor. Yeah, I definitely don't think we're that close. And the pacing of the episodes is very, very slow. And that's not bad, but I'm just saying it's very like, it takes its time and it takes it preciously.
Yeah. I'm just, the whole time we've been talking, I've been comparing it mentally to the Horimiya reviews that you guys did. I think there's a little bit difference in quality of story.
Yeah, thank you. Like, dude, that felt like a burn. It was just like, quality of story, aka Horimiya was crappy.
Well,
They're
two different types, you know.
I mean, here's the thing with Horimiya, it's a lighthearted thing, right? And it's just like your basic rom-com, I guess. I say basic, but I'm using that term really badly and people hate me for that. But I think it's like pretty low-key, very not too dramatic. It tries to make itself dramatic. It's not that great. Whereas like with Fruits Basket, you're like, you feel the pureness that Toru feels, and you're like, my queen deserves the best, and you're all for Toru in this.
Yeah, I feel like Horimiya was just, it had, the only thing it had for a story was Miyamura and
Yeah.
Hori.
Yep. Oh yeah, the two main characters of the title.
Yeah, and that was it. And it was just them developing their relationship. Whereas Fruits Basket, it has a big story, has an end goal.
Yep.
And that is the Zodiac Curse. And how to break it.
Exactly. And it affects every single character in some sort of way. So it's not like Horimiya where you just kind of get distinct storylines going on without some sort of unifying concept around them. But then you see that for like Fruits Basket, and it's just like really lovely to see that unfold.
Yeah. I am excited to see where this final season goes.
Same. I can't wait. Us anime onlys, we're excited.
I've tried to read the manga, I swear, but the art, I can't get past it. I know I should be able to, but the art is what's holding me back. I know it gets better, but
dude, I get you, man. Like a little bit about how I got into Fruits Basket, I guess. Like, I watched the anime, the first 2000 whatever anime that was. Like, a friend
2001.
My friend was like, "Hey, have you watched Fruits Basket before?" I was like, "What's that about? That sounds dumb." And then she showed me it, and I'm like, "The art's bad, but I really like it. This is actually kind of wholesome and kind of special." And then she's like, "Yeah, I have the manga," and I tried to, man. This is like me in 6th or 7th grade by now, trying, and same thing where I was like, yeah, the art, I can't get into it. And I look at it now, and I feel like I could probably force myself. But I'm like,
yeah,
why do that when I have a beautiful anime with the sound, like with the soundtrack and the art and like all the little details put so nicely in that. So I'm just like, it's the anime then.
I'm not sure. I guess we could look up how much is cut out from the manga. I think I read that it's pretty much the same, but there are some side stories that get cut out.
Oh.
Like, there's apparently a bit in the 2nd season with Prince Yuki's club that was cut out, which I don't necessarily miss. I don't.
Prince Yuki's fan club. I think it's so funny that it's like, some of these concepts are from like, you can tell it's an old anime, like it's an old manga, because like the concept of fan club, maybe it's just me, but I don't know if I see it that much anymore. Like, I feel like it's such an old high school host club thing that I saw during that era.
I think you're right. I don't think it's used as often anymore. I think what you see more often now is instead of a fan club, there'll be girls that are like, "You guys don't match." Ugh.
Yep, the gossip crowd, the enemies to the main girl.
But at least Toru has two amazing friends.
Yeah, dude, that trio, powerful. Love him.
So
Yep.
strong. Everyone needs friends like
Yeah.
them.
Oh my gosh. And I can't wait. Like, what I'm especially excited about for this season is, like, seeing and understanding Kyoko and her role in all this. Because I know that she plays a bigger role and most likely has a connection with Kyo. And I'm really, like, I heard about that at least. And, and you see, like, how, you know, we started to see Toru's grief in the second season, but I just kind of, yeah, I'm like, I want to know more about Kyoko, and I think this season will address some of that too.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Well, this will be unlike the Horimiya reviews for sure, because we're going to be raving and hyping it, I guess, in each of these, like, talking about going on the pain train for sure. I'm excited for us to continue reacting to it, so it's going to be wonderful.
Same.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, into the Shoujoverse. And yeah, like, please follow us on our Twitter. Please check us out on YouTube. Check us out on our other platforms too, our Instagram, our TikTok. So, yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.